I love old steel guitars, and this Oahu is a special one. Sure, there are many Oahus out there, and most of them are in really bad shape. And this one is not. It's not an expensive guitar, but this one's in particularly good condition, and I credit that to a couple things. One, not only does it appear to have been well cared for and or lightly played, but also because it has the tailpiece and floating bridge as opposed to the aluminum bridges that were on so many of those Oahus, which were screwed into the face. And over the years of these sitting in an attic or a basement somewhere with the strings at full tension, that would warp the face of the guitar. This one is not warped, nor is the heel coming away from the block. It's in amazing condition. This guitar is a steel guitar, as you can see, has the nut riser there, and even though it is somewhat of a round neck, the neck is absurdly thick. I have an old Fender with the baseball bat neck, and this is considerably thicker than it. But one of the things that I really love about this guitar is the knowledge of its story. See, there was a Miss Anna Young who, at the age of 14 in June of 1934, was given this guitar for $5. Miss Anna lived in the Sharpsburg area that's outside of Pittsburgh, and she apparently, for the better part of a year at least, would travel into downtown Pittsburgh, where she would take Hawaiian guitar lessons, but also lessons in electrocution, lessons in electrocution and microphone usage. This guitar comes with all this documentation as well as a little diploma for Miss Anna. Because it was the 1930s, Miss Anna probably learned to play this in open A tuning, and I have some of her learning materials, and indeed it is almost all in open A tuning. Every time I pick up an old instrument, I wonder who's held it, who's played it, what they played on it. I wonder whose oils are in the wood. Some of the interesting things about this guitar, though, not only is it the ridiculous neck, which is in large part why it's still straight to this day, but it's also the fact that these fret markers are just stickers. Now, I know those have existed for a long time, but I've never actually seen them still on a guitar. I usually see remnants of them. And I wonder what came first, the sticker fret markers or the numbers written on each fret now. Most steel guitars from a certain era have all those numbers written down, and it makes me think that's something that the teachers would do. It's really something special to be able to play a guitar like this, not only because it's in such amazing shape for what was a budget guitar. This guitar only cost her parents $5, and that included 5 group lessons plus the opportunity for an additional 62 lessons if I'm remembering the paperwork correctly. But I'd like to try to play a little bit of it for you just so you can hear what these sound like, and they are very special. And again, this is a particularly nice one. One of the really confounding things about it is it says right inside it is a professional model, and the top is X-braced, which I was surprised to find. And maybe that's part 2 why it's not all warped. But it is also adaptable for radio work, which that is a good thing, because if the guitar is not suitable for playing on the radio, what good is it really? So this is actually Miss Anna's bar that she would have used on this. May have been the only bar she had. It certainly was the only one in the case that came with a lot of documentation. It's in pretty good shape despite some tarnishing there. There's no real rust on the bottom, nothing that scratches up on the strings. And even though I've always heard these referred to as combs because of the belief, and probably true, that a lot of early Hawaiian players use steel combs and pocket knives to play on, I've never been really comfortable with these. I think their thinness, it can kind of put a little strain on my thumb at least, and the pointed end kind of makes it a little difficult to roll off on some strings, but I'm going to use it because it's just, again, it's something really special to be playing a guitar with the bar that the original player used, and to wrap one's head around that, well, Miss Anna, if she were around today, would be just over 100, and my own grandfather only would have been 1 year old when she received her $5 guitar. So I'm going to try to play something Hawaiian-esque in probably something very similar to what she would have learned, and apologies ahead of time. It's been a long time since I've really played much Hawaiian guitar. So again, this is Miss Anna's early 1930s Oahu steel guitar. Hopefully you can see just how that neck's as thick as a flat neck one, square neck guitar. So that's this little steel story.